Welcome back to the From A to Z podcast for another deep dive.
Oh, yeah.
This time,
Another one.
we're going to be looking at some of these recent UFO and UAP sightings.
Right.
And we're going to be looking at those that are documented on Mindseed TV. Have you seen these?
Oh, yeah, I've seen them.
These videos are packed with some pretty compelling footage.
Yeah. You know what's really captured my attention on those
Hmm.
is that we're seeing a lot more than just those classic grainy, blurry videos. A lot of these are in broad daylight,
Right.
captured from multiple sources.
Multiple different cameras, different angles.
It really adds a new layer of intrigue.
Right. And the sheer variety
Oh, yeah.
of what's being captured.
Wild.
It's mind-boggling. We're talking daytime drone sightings, a potential crash in New Jersey, this bizarre fog phenomenon.
All kinds of stuff.
There's even footage that hints at, well, let's just say unidentified creatures.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot to unpack, I'll say that.
It is.
And what makes it even more fascinating is the lack of official explanation from the government.
Yeah.
You know? It fuels speculation. It makes you wonder what they might know.
Right.
Yeah, what are they hiding?
It's like, what's going on here?
Okay, so let's start with those drone sightings.
Yeah.
One video that really jumped out at me
Yeah.
was the one capturing a Reaper Q9 drone. You know, the military ones.
Mm.
Well, it was flying in broad daylight over a residential neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
I mean, what's a military drone doing in a civilian area like that?
That's a great question.
Right.
And it raises some serious concerns about privacy
Oh, yeah.
and government surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if military drones are operating in civilian airspace without any transparency,
Without telling anybody.
without any explanation,
Choosing whatever they want.
it definitely makes you think about the bigger picture here. What's going on?
It does. And speaking of unsettling events, there's that alleged UAP crash in New Jersey. This one has it all. Eyewitness accounts. Oh, yeah.
A complete media blackout.
Total blackout.
And reports of melted snow at the crash site. It sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie.
Right. And while eyewitness accounts can be compelling,
Yeah.
it's important to remember that they can also be influenced by a variety of factors, you know,
Oh, yeah.
like stress
Right.
or the excitement of the moment.
Absolutely.
We also have to consider if there are other explanations, you know, for something like melted snow.
Yeah.
Perhaps there was a source of intense heat from the object itself.
Right.
Or maybe it was simply a strange weather phenomenon.
I mean, just a really hot day in New Jersey.
You never know
Yeah, you never know.
what happens.
Good point. So we have to look at it critically. But then there was that incident with the American Airlines pilot
Okay.
reporting a bird strike.
Uh-huh.
When you juxtapose that with footage of that bird-like drone
Oh, okay.
developed in China,
Interesting.
it really makes you wonder if we're seeing advanced drone technology being used for espionage or sabotage.
The implications of that are pretty disturbing. Think about the impact on national security,
Yeah.
the potential for misidentification of these craft,
Right.
and the potential for accidents.
Oh, yeah.
If those technologies are truly out there, it's definitely something we need to understand better.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Okay, before we go any further,
Yeah.
let me just remind our listeners to like, share, and subscribe to the From A to Z podcast.
Please do.
Your support means the world to us,
It really does.
and it helps us keep bringing you these deep dives into fascinating topics.
You love it.
All right, back to those strange lights in the sky.
Okay.
We've got triangular formations,
Oh, yeah.
mysterious orbs.
Mm-hmm.
These sightings are being reported all over the world,
Everywhere.
and none of the conventional explanations seem to quite fit.
They're just strange.
What are your thoughts on those?
What's particularly interesting about these sightings is that, you know, they seem to defy easy categorization.
They don't really act like anything we know.
They don't behave like conventional aircraft, and their movements often seem to defy the laws of physics as we understand them.
Like, how are they doing that?
Yes.
They're just zipping around,
It's crazy.
making sudden stops and starts,
And then, yeah,
even changing direction on a dime.
on a dime. Like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And some of these formations are just mind-blowing. You see these videos of perfectly triangular formations
Oh, yeah.
of lights moving silently across the sky.
No sound.
It's just like, how are they doing that?
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder if we're looking at some kind of advanced technology, maybe even something similar
Oh.
to the Iron Dome defense system
Okay, interesting.
used in Israel.
That's an interesting parallel. You know, for those who might not know,
Yeah.
the Iron Dome is a highly sophisticated air defense system. It uses radar and interceptors to shoot down incoming rockets and artillery shells.
Right. So could something similar
Yeah, it makes you wonder, could something similar be being deployed on a global scale?
on a global scale?
Perhaps in response to growing international tensions?
That's what it makes you think.
It's a thought.
It's a fascinating thought. It really makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about that strange fog phenomena.
Okay.
There have been reports of this unusual fog appearing in various locations.
Mm-hmm.
People describe it as having a weird smell and taste.
Oh, yuck.
And there are even reports of chemical-like bubbles appearing in swimming pools.
Chemical bubbles.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This fog phenomenon is one of the more perplexing aspects of these recent events. If these reports are accurate,
Right.
it raises serious concerns about the potential environmental
Oh, yeah.
and health impacts.
Yeah.
We need more information to determine the nature and origin of this fog.
Right.
But it's definitely a red flag.
Definitely something to be paying attention to.
It's a reminder that we need to be aware of our surroundings and consider potential risks.
Be prepared.
Be prepared.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely makes you think about preparedness, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Like, what if this stuff starts happening even more?
Right.
Or what if the explanations for all this turn out to be way more serious
Yeah.
than we initially thought?
Well, I think, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
The more we understand about potential threats, the better equipped we are to respond effectively.
Absolutely.
It's not about living in fear, right?
Right.
It's about being informed.
Informed, yeah.
And prepared.
Prepared, yeah. So we've got these drones, potential crashes, this mysterious fog,
Yeah.
and then there are the theories about those orbs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people are throwing out all sorts of ideas.
Yeah.
Angels, aliens, advanced weaponry. Have you come across any theories
Oh, I've heard them all.
that particularly resonate with you?
Well, it's tempting to jump to conclusions, especially when you're dealing with phenomena that seem to, defy conventional explanations. But I think it's crucial to approach these topics with, both an open mind and a healthy dose of skepticism.
Right.
We need to carefully evaluate the evidence, consider multiple perspectives, and be willing to revise our understanding as, new information comes out.
That's a great point. We can't just accept everything we see or hear at face value. We need to be able to think for ourselves.
Absolutely, yeah.
But what about some of those more, let's say, unconventional sightings? Like the one where a tree is just completely destroyed from above.
That was a crazy one, yeah.
The footage only shows glimpses of, like, it might be a hand.
It kind of looked like a hand, yeah.
But it's pretty wild.
That particular sighting is definitely one of the more puzzling ones. It's hard to even begin to explain what might have caused that kind of damage,
Right.
I mean, could it be like misidentification? Or is it something we haven't even considered yet, like an undiscovered creature?
Oh, yeah.
Or, some incredibly advanced robotics that we just don't even know about.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it? I mean, if it is some kind of creature,
Right.
what does that even say about everything we thought we knew about the natural world?
It turns everything on its head.
And if it's advanced robotic,
Yeah.
well, then who's behind it?
Right.
And what are they doing?
And why are they doing it? What are their intentions?
It raises so many questions. And it's not just the tree incident. There's also that clip of a large, shadowy figure disappearing on a hillside. It's almost like catching a glimpse into another world, a world we barely understand.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah, it's just like a flash.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes you wonder what you're seeing.
Yeah, it really makes you think about the limits of human perception, doesn't it?
Totally.
What we see, or what we think we see, might not always be the whole picture.
No, not at all. There's so much that remains unknown and unexplored, both here on Earth and in the vastness of the cosmos. It's a humbling reminder that we're constantly learning and, evolving our understanding of the world around us.
So, if these sightings are real,
Right.
if there really are these unidentified objects and phenomena in our skies, on our planet,
Yeah.
how do we even begin to make sense of it all?
Yeah.
It very challenges how we think about the world, our place in it.
It does. It forces us to confront the unknown,
Yeah.
to grapple with possibilities we might not have considered before. But I think that's part of what makes this so fascinating. It pushes us to expand our horizons and to question our assumptions.
Yeah, I think it's important to stay informed,
Absolutely.
be open to new information,
Yeah.
but also to be discerning. Not everything we see online or hear on the news is necessarily true, and it's easy to get caught up in the hype or be swayed by, sensationalism.
Absolutely. Critical thinking is more important than ever in this age of information overload. We need to be able to evaluate sources,
Yeah.
separate fact from fiction and form our own informed opinions.
So where do we go from here? What are the next steps in unraveling these mysteries? It feels like we're just scratching the surface.
Well, I think continued research and investigation are crucial. We need scientists, researchers, and investigators to examine the evidence, gather more data, and explore all possible explanations, even those that might seem outlandish at first.
And what about the government?
Yeah.
Do you think they have a responsibility to be more transparent about what they know? Seems like there's a lot of secrecy surrounding these topics.
I think transparency is essential for building trust and fostering, meaningful dialogue.
Right.
The public has a right to know what's going on, especially when it comes to potential threats to, our safety and security.
It's interesting to think about how our understanding of the world has evolved over time. We used to think the Earth was flat, and we discovered it was round.
Yeah.
We thought we were the center of the universe, and then we realized we were just one planet among billions.
It's amazing, right?
And now we're faced with the possibility that, we're not alone in the universe.
Yeah.
That there might be other forms of intelligence out there.
Right.
Or even right here on our own planet.
It's a mind-blowing concept, and it raises so many questions.
What are the implications for humanity?
Yeah.
How would we even interact with these other beings?
Yes.
What would it mean for our understanding of ourselves and our place in the cosmos?
These are questions we might not have answers to yet.
Right.
But they're worth pondering. They challenge us to think beyond our current limitations and to imagine a future that's, both exciting and uncertain.
I think that's a good place to pause for now. We've covered a lot of ground today, and it's a lot to take in.
Indeed. We've explored a range of intriguing sightings and theories, and we've highlighted the importance of, critical thinking and continued exploration.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Definitely keeps you thinking.
Yeah, a little bit scary.
For sure.
And it definitely leaves us with way more questions than answers.
So many questions.
But that's part of what makes this whole topic so fascinating, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. The pursuit of knowledge is an ongoing journey. The more we learn, the more we realize how much we don't know.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
It really is.
So before we wrap up today,
Okay.
any final thoughts for our listeners?
Right.
What should they take away from all this? From this deep dive into UFO and UAP sightings?
Well, I would say, stay curious, keep an open mind,
Yeah.
but also be a critical thinker.
Right. Don't just believe everything.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to question what you see and hear.
Oh.
Always try to find those reliable sources of information. Remember, not everything you see online is necessarily true.
That's right. And remember, the universe is a vast and mysterious place. There's still so much we don't understand. Who knows what incredible discoveries await us in the years to come?
It's exciting to think about.
Right, so that's all the time we have for today.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Thanks for joining us on the From A to Z podcast.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
And be sure to tune in next time for another exploration of the unknown. Until then, keep looking up, keep asking questions, and never stop exploring those mysteries of the universe.